Alright, here at my favorite dealership, Interstate Honda again. And of all these used bikes, which, as I've said before, I've done a review on the Versys 300. KLR 650, I haven't yet, but not today. The KTM, yes, hopefully you just watched that. How about the Suzuki? Now, is it really a review if you're riding a used bike that somebody might have made some alterations to? Well, explore it with me. How about that? Less of a review and more of a moto exploration. How about that? So, you're the kind of guy who only rides V-twins. Well, then the Suzuki is for you, because it clearly is a V-twin. Whoop, whoop. Comes with these beautiful Suzuki hard cases. I don't even want to ask how much that would have been. They added a tank pad to it. They added some engine guards to it. I'm sure it didn't come with that. Probably did not come with a carbon fiber front fender, but it might have. We have bark busters. Yeah, that didn't come with us either. We have rocks risers, and this would be a ram mount ball most likely. Didn't come with that. The windshield, it's too nice of a windshield. I'm gonna guess it didn't come with that. Yeah, that's a mad stat. We have, oh looky here, a camera. Bonus, come buy the bike for the camera. The bike is only $6,100. Get the camera for free. That's an idea. Might have to mount a camera like that. So, what do we have on this thing? We do have two front rotors, a Japanese brand of brakes have never heard of, Tokiko, but you've got two pots on each side. Yay. We have a well we have a decoration. That's what we've got. This is not what I would call an adventure bike's protection, but it will keep some rocks off the exhaust and off, even more preciously, the oil filter. So rocks will bounce right off that plastic. Just don't high center the bike on the plastic and expect it to hold you up. It's not going to do it. We have the Suzuki engine, and this is a DL650A. I'm going to guess it's probably 649cc. Bird thought that was funny. But we'll go after that after we take it for a spin. We have, like I was pointing out, aftermarket foot pegs for adventure use. In the rear, as I've noticed before when I've ridden one of these, you've got a single pot for rear braking. So we'll see if it's just as weak as I remember. We have a center stand. I'm going to guess the center stand didn't come with the bike. I could be wrong. Pipe is probably stock. We have a rear camera. Okay, cool. So this might actually be more of a safety feature than somebody with a GoPro show, like me. Let's go get ourselves into some trouble and see what this bike does. Okay, helmet's on. Everything's connected. Hopefully sound is working. That's always questionable with a GoPro and its weird setup, especially when you have a mic in your helmet that takes an adapter. So, just pretending the sound is working for now. What is the horsepower of this bike? How many gallons is the gas tank? Let's put the answer to those two questions right where my ass is going to be. Right here. Horsepower, torque, gas tank. Any more questions? How about how does it actually feel? Because numbers, You know, people get bent up out of numbers. Well, mine's got 100 horsepower. Mine's got 110 horsepower. Yeah, is that to the rear wheel? Is that to the engine? Where is that? And how far up on your RPMs is that? Because unless you're riding at 10,000 RPMs all the time, and if that's where the peak horsepower is, odds are you're not. Odds are you're riding down here at 6. And so you need to know what the horsepower is at an average riding RPM range, not as some manufacturers listed, 8,500 horsepower at 9,000 RPMs. Yeah, you have a few seconds of that typically in your riding experience. We are in neutral. Gas tank is half full. You were waiting there to see what I was going to say. Oh, kicks right over. Starts like a car, just not even a crank, full crank. Very quiet. I'm sitting draped over the seat, and it's fairly comfortable so far. 91 degrees right now. So it would not let me put it in first until I started the bike, and that could just be where it was geared. Somebody's watching their battery. Battery over here on this is 14.4 volts. That's happy. That windshield is just about perfect height for me. So somebody that knows what they're doing has set this windshield. What's crazy is, yeah, it can go down, but it can't go up. So that's a matte stat windshield. I've been wondering about these, if they're any good. Let's find out. Mirror. So on a used bike, you see me do it all the time on new bikes. I really need to know on a used bike, do I have a front brake? Because believe it or not, I've been in dealerships. There was one dealership somewhat near here, had a Triumph Rocket 3, and I don't mean Noco Power Sports across the street. It's the other one, a little further south. Had a Triumph Rocket 3 with no rear brake. There was simply nothing there. I don't mean physically, but I mean when I put the pedal down all the way to the base, there was no stopping power. Okay, so front brake, excellent. Rear brake, tight, we're good. Forklift, check. Barrel full of monkeys. Clutch release. Oh, it's right there. Hello. I got something bouncing around in the tail kit back there. Very smooth. Especially for a V-twin, it's smooth. And that's a common misconception. This guy's gonna pull out right in front of me. Of course he is. As I was saying, it is a common misconception that V-twins all have to rumble and shake. You can counterbalance them to the point where there's no vibration whatsoever. And Harley-Davidson knows this, because when they came up with the Milwaukee 8 engine, that's exactly what they almost did, until they realized most Harley riders want some vibration. So there is a little bit of vibration to this engine. But it is not Harley jackhammer style vibration of the old twin cam 103s. And even some of those Milwaukee 8s have a jackhammer vibration to them. It's kind of weird because they put back 25% of the vibration to their engine by way of with the way they counterbalanced it. But why am I talking about Harleys? Because we're on a V-twin. Oh, this windshield is, it's absolutely perfect. This windshield is perfect if you don't want any air going to your helmet. And like I said, you can lower it. So, mad stat commercial, sure, why not? So we do not have self-canceling turn signals. And how do you all feel about self-canceling turn signals? I can go either way with it. I do like when they cancel, but sometimes when you're in a long curve and they cancel and your turn's coming up, you got to put them back on again. Or if they time out, if you're sitting at a red light too long, and here in Fort Collins you can have red lights that you can sit at for too long. In fact, one of them is coming up, and we'll see if it senses the weight of the bike. I have trouble with this because I can pull up on the Fury, which is 600 pounds, put it over where the tires of the car go so that it can hopefully sense the 600 pounds, and never see a green light at this upcoming intersection. Well, now it's already green for that car that was sitting there, so now we won't find out. Aren't you disappointed? I'm going to admit, I actually like V-Strom motorcycles. I think they're pretty cool. They're very smooth. They don't weigh a whole lot. They're very controllable. And on my first adventure bike ride on dirt, and I was never a dirt rider growing up. I rode in the grassy fields with a dirt bike, but I never actually rode on dirt, and never for any miles. So I got invited on a group adventure ride, not really knowing that we were going to be hitting dirt. And this same dealership that I'm at now just happened to have, I'm pretty sure it was one of these, the V-Strom 650. And for my first time on long stretches of dirt up in the Rocky Mountains, it did fantastic. Why is that? Because it is light. It is very controllable. It is very, you're not intimidated by it. In fact, it feels like a more powerful version of a Royal Enfield Himalayan. You know, you get a lot of dogma about which adventure bike to buy, and I'm sure I'm guilty of it as well. But little things like, you know, do you get the biggest dang adventure bike you can buy? Do you get the BMW 1300? Do you get a maybe you want a Ducati Multistrada V4S? You know, for $6,100, instead of spending $30-something thousand, you can get something that is just as much fun, like this bike. Oh, let's go take it on the interstate for fun. Just a little jaunt like I've done before. First, will it see me? I'm right in the car, in the tire track. My blinker, oh, it saw me. Okay, bike with bags on it, or cases in this case, gets seen, much like my Moto Guzzi does. Skinny little bike with no bags on it. The optical detector doesn't pick it up. Hey Madstad, you know it'd be really cool? A vent right here. I'd like to have some air today, but hey, at least I got the height right. This seat is very warm. Now I'm wondering if it's a heated seat and it's on. But it was in the hot sun. But it's warmer than my Moto Guzzi seat gets, which isn't very warm. So either the material puts out a lot of heat, or I have a heated seat, whose control would probably be on the seat itself. This bike is effortless to ride. The clutch pull, super easy. It is only a 650, and it's not a KTM 650 or 690 or 790. But let's see what she does. Crap. Well, I can stay in this lane anyway. I'm not going to tell you how fast I'm going. Well, now I dropped. So now I'm doing 80 in a 75, okay? And it'll do it. It's good at that. We're only at 5,500 RPMs. We're only at half of our RPM range, so you can do 80 all day long. Do you have cruise control? I doubt it. More and more Japanese motorcycle manufacturers have been putting on cruise control. But this is an older used bike that was taken in. And I'm going to give it 5 stars for what it is. As a used bike at a price range of $6,100, I would buy this bike. Especially with the cases already on it. If you don't know what cases cost, by the time you're done putting cases on a bike, it can be $1,200 or more, depending on the brand you choose. Alright, well, back at the gas station again to fill up this bike.